Hello friends, this is Raj Sastry from Raja Option Trading. Today is December 17th, 2022. Hope you're all doing well. In today's segment, we'll take a look at stocks with very high short ratio and see how to benefit from it. So with that, let's jump in and look at my favorite platform, Finviz. Look, I got a Finviz Elite membership, but you can get most of this thing with the free membership to Finviz. You don't need to have Elite membership. So with that, let's try to look at the market and see what market has been doing. So we'll look at the futures here and see how the markets are doing. So you can go into indices to get a good idea. Look, Fed spoke and they increased the interest rates by 50 basis points. Market did not like it. Look what's going on here. We got Dow Jones Industrial Average came down for last couple days. S&P 500 also down for a couple days. Nasdaq down big time, as you can see here. Russell down. That's what happens when Fed is not our friend. Right now, Fed is not our friend. You know, they're basically saying, hey, we really want to increase the interest rates. The rate of change could be a little bit lower, but they're going to still increase the rates. That's why you got to be slightly cautious here. So we got to be very careful and pick the right stocks when you short squeeze. So with that, let's jump in here and look at a few things here. As you go into Finviz platform here, they will give a very nice view. This is one of the best view that you can get out of many platforms here. Look, I can see here Dow Jones Industrial Average in one day dropped by 281 points. Nasdaq also dropped. S&P 500 also dropped. And you can also look at all the details here. Normally, I love to look at the winners. Look, we got winners right here. And we got losers right here. We got top losers, as you can see here. These are the top losers here. Just by looking at it, you can see winners and losers. And then one of my favorite things is to look at the insider buying and selling. Just by looking at here, you can see here, we got our friend Elon Musk unloading Tesla to save Twitter. As you can see here, he's been very active, selling about about $8-9 billion worth Tesla stock. That's why Tesla has been going down. And you can also get a very good idea by clicking on this here. You can see how the market has been doing. One day decisively negative. And you can also look at the year to date. We are almost end of the year here. Look, year to date, we are looking at 1 year performance here. You can also go into the year to date right here. Year to date perspective, all these big names like technology, Apple down 24%, Microsoft down 27%, Google down big time. On the positive side, you can see here, the healthcare has been holding up pretty nicely. My favorite is Eli Lilly or LLY. It's a great one. Even up here, you could buy slowly, and you could buy stocks like Merck when they're down slightly. And look, energy is doing very well here. Off late, energy has been coming down, but you could still buy stocks like ExxonMobil and Chevron, my favorites, on the down days. And you can also look at other names here like Constellation Energy and so on and so forth. Look, even the healthcare plans are doing very well. United is my favorite. You could look at that also. With all this war fear, look, Lockheed Martin is doing very well, and Raytheon is also doing very well. All right, so without further ado, let's look at the short stocks. Look, I got a nice, screener here. I have I have saved this screener. I call it short interest. As you go into the short interest here, look, my criteria is pretty simple here, and you can also do it in your free Finviz account. Look, all I'm doing is here, the short float is more than 10%, very important. And I want to make sure the current volume is over 1 million. So I don't want to look at the illiquid stocks here. That are the only two criteria I have here. And then we can go into, if you have a free Finviz account, you can go into ownership here. In the ownership, you can see here, we got short float here. And as you can see here, I sorted this by highest short float at the top here. You can see here, Apron, highest short float. And since I got Finviz membership, elite membership, I can go into my custom column. I will take you there in a minute. But if you have free Finviz account, you can do this, and you can also see what the current stock price and what the change and so on and so forth. And if you have free Finviz account, you can also go into performance tab here and look at how the performance for these stocks are. Look, you can just by glancing it over, you can see the performance in in 1 week, 1 month, and so on and so forth. And if you're picking some of these names here, make sure you want to make sure the stock is slightly going higher in a 1 week time frame, so that way these stocks are turning the corner. And you could buy such names after doing some research here. Since I got Finviz Elite, I can go into the custom view here. Look, I've selected few columns, as you can see here. I got ticker symbol, market cap, PE ratio, price to sales, earnings per share. More importantly, I got here sales, how is the sales doing in quarter over quarter time frame, and 5 year. And I also have float here. Typically, you want low floaters. You don't want triple digit floaters. You want a little bit low floaters. And we got insiders, are they buying or selling? Institutions, are they buying or selling? And you got the percentages here. You want to see the catalysts like insider buying or institutions buying. And then you got here float, short float here. This is the short float. I have sorted in a descending order, highest float at the top here. And then you got the current ratio here. Look, you got to make sure the company has got enough money to meet its short-term liabilities. That's why I love when the current ratio is above 1, so that way I know these companies can take care of their short-term obligations. And then you got your long-term debt to equity ratio. And you got to make sure this is also nice and high, and you don't want companies companies having too much debt in the long term. Actually, you want this ratio to be below 1. Look, if you see high long-term debt to equity ratio, like the one right here, Carvana, look, they took so much debt here. That's why long-term debt to equity ratio is very high. That's one of the reasons they might file for the bankruptcy, given there is so much debt. That's why debt to equity ratio is so high. And then you got gross profit margin and net margin here, very important. If you want to hold it for a while, if you're a swing trader, you got to make sure company has got nice gross margin and nice net margin. Look, Beyond Meat, it's been going down mainly because look, their gross margin and net margin both are negative. Companies burning the cash. It shows up in their performance. Look at the performance. It's been negative all along. On the other hand, if you see positive performance like Mobile as an example, nice gross margin and profit margin is slightly negative. That's why it's going higher, as you can see here. Stocks like this one, when the gross margin is high or good, about 30, and net margin is it's okay if it is slightly negative, but if it is positive, it's great. So you could look at such names here. And then finally, look at performance here. When you're buying short squeeze type names, when you want the stock to go higher, you want to make sure there is a good performance at least in 1 month time frame, or so, at least in weekly time frame, so that way you're not catching the falling knife here. So by looking at that here, look, we got few names here. We got Mobile it's got positive performance in 1 week, and we got one more here, Tattooed Chef, that's been going higher in a 1 week time frame. That tells you these short squeeze short squeeze is on slightly, so you could look at such names. They could be the turnaround candidates. And we got few more, as you can see here. You could look at such names here, and you could also just remove the filter. You could look at bigger view here just by removing the filter. And we got few more here. Look, we got IBRX here. This has been going gangbusters. Look, it's been going up nicely here. At this time, savvy investors or savvy traders will also look at RSI. RSI is very important. If the RSI touches 60 or so, watch out, don't buy. That means you're chasing the stock that's not worth your while. But if the RSI is below 55, you could slowly buy for a short squeeze type name. So we can go into the next here and look at a few more here. Look, we got a few more here. We got Siri, Revolve Group, and so on and so forth. And look, we got one of my favorite company, Editas, gene editing company. Look, it's going higher in a weekly time frame here. You could take a look at this one. This one comes down pretty hard, then makes it move. So you could look at this one here. And we got this STR. Looks like it's also trying to go higher. You could look at such names here. And as usual, keep a watch on gross margin and stock like Editas as an example. We got right here Edit. Edit has got gross margin perspective. It doesn't show any gross margin at this time. It's a biotech company, as you know. Right now there is no gross margin according to Finviz. And you could look at a few more here. We got Chewy and so on and so forth. If you are very conservative, look at positive net margin companies. We got a few right here: Sirius, Revolve Group, and Figs. We got STR and so on and so forth to the positive net margin. You can look at such names here. So with that, what we'll do is we could also do certain things here. You could go to previous, and many of you, for example, when you are playing the short squeeze here, you want to look at a little bit lower RSI. So you could bring up this filter view here. You can say, what, I want to look at RSI. Say because I got Finviz Elite, I could go here and say less than 55. So you could say 0 to 55. So now we will look at the stocks where RSI is between 0 to 55. These stocks are oversold. So you could look at such names here. Look, we got the nice list here. All these companies got RSI lower than 55 here. Look, we got Carvana here, Apron, all RSI less than 55. And if you're worried about the company and its viability, you should look at the current ratio and make sure current ratio is at least over 1. So you can go here and you can say current ratio filter right here, and look at the stocks with the current ratio say above 1. So let's do just that here. Look at the current ratio. All right, current ratio is right here. I could say here over 1. So you will see a little more stabler companies. All these companies can meet their short-term obligations. Look, right now we got names here. Looks like Carvana here. Carvana has got current ratio of let's see here, current ratio of 2.40. They can meet short-term obligations, but look at the long-term debt here. That's why long-term debt is too high. You could be even little more conservative and look at the long-term debt equity ratio and say I don't want anything say more than say 5 or so. You could also do that way. So look, let's look at long-term debt to equity ratio here, and write your debt to equity ratio right here. You can say here, you can say under, let's see here, we'll say under at least 5, so that way we know, these they don't have too many debt load on their books here. I really love it when it's below 1. But let's say below 5 here, and then we can do below 1. Look, we are getting some companies here. All these companies, as you can see here, current ratio is above 1. They have some money, and long-term debt to equity ratio is less than 5. So you could look at such names here. And look, we got companies like Gas here. This one seems to be having a little bit higher long-term debt to equity ratio. If you're conservative, a trader, you could get rid of this one here. Don't need to buy this one. And in this year, look, we got here performance. You could look at performance. What's trending higher in a week's time here. If it is like a Gas, it went up so much here, I would not chase. But you could look at other names here, like Blink as an example. And you could also do one thing in Finviz. You could also search and see where the insiders are buying. You could go in here and go into insiders here. Let's just do that here. You got insider transactions. You can say here, greater than 0, and now we'll see insiders buying these companies. Look, now we got some names here. Keep watching insiders here. Look, insiders, or let's see here, insiders are buying, it's about 0 here. And some names you can see here, gas, the reason it went up is, look, insiders are buying 14%. And look, we got Porsche here, insiders are buying 12%. And look, Porsche is going higher here after insiders are buying. And then you got GPRE, look, insiders are buying here. And you could look at such names here, and those are the good ones. Insiders know more about the company. They're buying their own company. And next, what I would do is really, I know many of you love to look at options and want to see which of these short squeeze names have got high option open interest. So for that, typically what I do is I go into fintel.com. Fintel.com, as many of you know, it also has got options data. So what I have here is I got a small, as you go into Fintel, my favorite thing is I would go in here to the screener section. And normally, many folks I know, they go into, other areas. I will go there in a minute, which is short squeeze dashboard. Instead of going to short squeeze dashboard, I love to look at, the actual screener here. I go to Workbench 3.0. That's my favorite spot within the Fintel. And you can get a lot of data here. Look, I wrote my query here. Very simple. If you're a little bit tech savvy, you could write this. It's not difficult at all. It's like English. So what I've done is I want country US. I want price, volume, price more than 1. I don't want any penny stocks here. I want to look at short interest and so on and so forth here. And as I run my query here, I could say get result. It will run the query. So look, what I've done is here, as you can see here, I'm looking at option call open interest plus put open interest. I should do the put open interest here. Let's do that here. I want to make sure the call open interest and put open interest combined is more than 1 million. So those are the short interest stocks with the high option open interest. And look, I also made sure the short interest is more than 10 and it's less than 100, because Fintel sometimes lists stocks like Berkshire Hathaway as short float more than 100. I don't want such names here. I want the stocks with a really high short interest. Look, if you're looking at option trades for the stock with a high interest ratio, these are the ones you should look at. Look, we got Marathon Digital, BBBY, Nikola, Lucid, GameStop, AMC. Now you can see here all these stocks have got high open interest here, more than 1 million, as you can see here. And I have listed here call open interest. Let's go here. I have listed here call open interest and put open interest. As you can see here, we got high open interest here. That tells you in the options market, these are very, very, very active. And I also have the option volume here. This is one of the benefits of Fintel.com here. It's the user interface may not be point and click, but it's got a lot of data. And look, I also have short float here. Look, we got short interest, as you can see here. Many of these stocks like Marathon, BBBY, they got very high short ratio here, as you can see here. And Fintel also gives you days to cover. If the days to cover is high, short squeeze can go on for a while. Look, our friend GameStop here, days to cover is 10. That tells you if this squeezes, it can go higher. Look, short interest is going higher in 1 month time frame here. Borrow rate is not too high, but look for Nikola here, borrow rate is high. That tells you folks are afraid to borrow money, borrow the stock. That's why Nikola, if it goes higher, mainly because borrow rate is high, it can go much higher. Look at AMC, high borrow rate. That tells you this can also go higher. So with this, what do is we'll go to my next best platform to look at these in little more detail. So what we'll do is really we'll go into tradeitick.com, look at the dark pool activities, and see if it's good to buy these names. So I will go here. We'll start with the few names here like GameStop, AMC, and BBBY. And then we can wrap this up. All right, so I will take you to the stock dashboard here, and let's go into the stock dashboard right here, ticker dashboard, and let's bring up to begin with, let's bring up GameStop. All right, GME it is. So normally I love to look at GameStop. It gives a nice summary here. $6 billion market cap, PE ratio is -12. That means company is not making money, and they got nice about $6 billion sale, as you can see here. And next I go into the time frame here and go into 30-minute chart here. We'll get a couple days to play around, and you could go into my favorite Greek level, which is gamma exposure or GEX, and you could also look at spot GEX. Let's do spot GEX today. It's a very good indicator, and you could just say all and draw the spot GEX. Look, right now we got a nice chart here. Current price is let's see here, $20, as you can see here. It's been trending down off late, and look, we got $22. There is a nice support level here, and at about $21 there is a nice gamma exposure level. So the moment it breaks this 21 level here, it's headed to 22. That's how it is set up here, and we can go into here and look at the dark pool levels here, and let's just do that here. Dark pool bi-weekly. All right, from a dark pool level, as you can see here, we got a lot of negative dark pool here, as you see here, 32 million, 42 million dark pool. That's why this level here, 20, is a big level here. And there is also some positive you can see behind here, about 51 million or so dark pool here. So this 20 level is a very very big level, mainly because there is a lot of negative dark pool activity going on here. The moment we cross this 20, it's headed to 22, as you can see here. 21 is a big level here because of the negative dark pool activities. All right, next we'll go into the options dashboard here and look at AMC and see what's going on here. All right, we're in the options dashboard. I could say AMC here, and let's look at AMC and see what's going on from an option perspective. I love to look at the open interest level here. Before that, let's go to net flow here. Look, off late what's going on is in 1 day time frame here, put option are higher, call options are lower. That tells you right now put option buying is more, and look, call option is picking up here. That tells you trend is reversing right now. It could be okay to buy some AMC at these levels here, because look, call option buying is picking up here, put option is plateauing here. It could be okay here. And then you could look at put versus call open interest here. Clearly call open interest is higher, put open interest is lower in AMC, and volume is picking up. Call volume is going higher, put volume is also going higher, but not as much. And next you can look at this level here, open interest by strike. Look, we are at about 20, as many of you know here, but look, 15, there is a very high open interest in the call here. That tells you there will be very good support level at 15 here. And look at 145, a lot of people buy call option here. And next we'll jump into my favorite part here. Look, right now from a dealer Greek build-up perspective, dealers are sitting on negative delta here, and you could look at the gamma also here. We can click on gamma, and dealers are negative gamma here. So the moment dealers are on negative gamma, this tells you the volatility is more the moment there is a negative gamma. that tells you dealers are really short. When the dealers are short, that tells you the investors and traders, they are long, they are buying call option. That's why dealers are selling the call options to the investors. That's why dealer Greek is negative. The moment dealer Greek is negative, you can see some wild movements in the stock. And look, we are right here at positive Greek correlation 0.34. The moment the correlation is 0.34, you can see here stock kind of got wild moves, as you can see here. Right now it's set up in such a way, probably the negative sentiment is more. Look, there are a lot of negative bars in GameStop. So my favorite section is this right here. Look, we got we are in AMC, as you can see here. Let's actually do one thing. We are in AMC, and we can go into GameStop. Let's just do that here. So far we are talking about AMC. Let's go into GameStop here. All right, so we got GameStop here. GameStop, as you can see here. Look, right now in the GameStop, we got here put options on the top. Call options are picking up. That's a good story. At least, call options have got some traction here. That's a good one here. And look, from a net premium perspective, net premium, this is really, total premiums, positive premiums, minus negative premiums. So that tells you money is really going into negative premium side. That means people are really buying some put options. That's why it's a negative premium right now. And as we scan through here, my favorite section is, let's go all the way down here and look at the Greeks. Look, from a Greek's perspective, for a GameStop here, look, the dealer is a positive delta. When the dealer is positive delta, that tells you investors and traders, they are shorting their negative delta. So that's why the moment it's a positive delta, typically, you got to buy the dips and sell the rips, as the statement goes, because there's a positive delta, and directionally the movement will not be so much, stock will not be so much volatile, because the dealer will support, when it goes higher, dealer will basically cover the short. When it goes lower, dealer will support the stock itself. It's always good to buy the dips when the delta is positive. All right, so you could also do same thing. You can look at the gamma here. Look, gamma is also gamma is negative. Okay, so this is interesting here. Look, delta is positive and gamma is negative. So when the gamma is negative, typically there'll be wild swings here. The stock can go up and down wildly. That's how it's set up here. Volatility is high. And then you could look at this chart here. It tells you on the negative side, you see more bars here. Actually, it's dead even. So GameStop can swing either way according to this chart here. And then you could look at my favorite chart here, which is a gamma exposure chart. And we could look at, let's see here, we could look at the spot gamma exposure. And look, what this is saying is we got very high levels here at 30, and we are at 20 right now. We are at right here at 20. So 20 we got some level here, but 30 is a big level. So if we can cross some hurdle, I can see the stock going to 30, but right now we are stuck at around 20 here with all the big all the big dark pool activity like we saw here. All right, that's about GameStop here. We could look at one more and wrap up and go from there. So what we'll do is we'll look at AMC here and see what's going on in AMC. All right, let me bring up AMC here and look at the dark pool levels here, and we'll follow same thing here. We'll go here and look at the time frame, let's say 30-minute chart here. All right, so and let's look at dark pool levels here and go to bi-weekly here. And we can also look at the gamma exposure levels here. Let's go to spot GEX. That's a good one here. And let's say all. Look, we got a couple of days here. We got nice chart here. So in this one here, as you can see, we got some negative gamma exposure, negative, dark pool activity at 3.56 here. This could be a good resistance level here. But once it crosses this level, look at the positive dark pool here at 6.1, 6.4, and so on and so forth. And look, we are in an we are in a great gamma level here. Look, there is a nice red bar here. This tells you there is a nice gamma here. This will pull the stock toward this level here. I can see the stock easily going over $5 here because of this nice gamma exposure level here. 5 to 6 is a nice gamma exposure level. I can see the stock going there. And then we got this dark pool activity. This will act like a resistance at at 5.8 type level here. All right, so some of you want to look at the chart here. Look, the chart itself, the short volume, it's kind of slightly going higher off late. You can take a look at this here. That tells you there may be a short squeeze that might happen as more and more people, as the short volume goes higher. And then you could go into this ticker dashboard here. I think we looked at AMC a little bit earlier to some extent, but let's go here again. From an AMC perspective, like we talked about here, call volume activities are going higher. Look, I like it. Look, call volume is going higher, put volume is getting plateauing. That's a good story. And then you could go all the way down here. Look, from a dealer Greek buildup perspective, delta is negative here. That means the traders are buying the call options, and the dealers or market makers are selling them the call options. So generally the retail traders are positive on the stock. That's why they're buying call option. And if you look at the gamma levels here, and look from a gamma perspective, negative gamma, the moment it is negative gamma, that tells you volatility will be more. And you could look at this chart here. Look, negative gamma right now, hardly zero, as you can see here. The moment it's about zero here, look, the volatility is more. Look at these bubbles here on the high and low. It can go swing either way. A lot of volatility right now. And then we can go into my favorite here. Look, gamma exposure perspective at 6.0 here. Nice gamma exposure. This will try to pull the stock toward this level here. Given the stock itself is at a low price. Let's see here. Stock is at 5.31, as you can see here. The way it's set up here is as you go into the AMC here, optional dashboard, because of this high gamma exposure at 6, stock can go into the 6th level here. All right, let's look at one more here, which is BBBY, and then let's conclude. So go into BBBY here, Bed Bath and Beyond. All right, so BBBY, let's do the same trick here. We can go into time frame and say 30-minute, and we can go into the Greek levels, and let's go into gamma exposure, spot GAX, and say all, and let's go into dark pool level and say bi-weekly. That's pretty much here. That should do the trick here. We are in BBBY. Look, BBBY stock price is about $2.98, almost $3, as you can see here. And look, it's trying to go higher. That's a good sign here. Look, it's trying to go higher. And look, there is a nice gamma exposure level right here at 3.25. And look, there is some positive dark pool level here at about $3. That's why I can see this crossing this $3 level here because of this nice dark pool level here. Once it crosses $3, watch out, because we got some negative dark pool levels here which will be acting as resistance. But if it breaks this resistance, it can go into this nice high gamma exposure level right here, which is about say 3.5 to 3.6. There's a nice delta gamma exposure level here. That's why if it crosses this $3 and if it crosses the 3.1, 3.2, I can see the stock going to this level right here, which is about a 3.5 level. All right, now let's jump in here. You could look at short interest level also here. Look, from a short interest perspective, look, short interest is going down. Folks, the short sellers are a little bit concerned here. That's why they're trimming the position, as you can see here. All right, let's go in here. Look at the option positions here for BBBY. All right, so let's go in here and look at the net flow here. Look, net flow perspective, call is going higher, put is going lower. That tells you short squeeze is on right now. You could participate in the short squeeze. More call options are being bought than put options. And then you could go in here and look at the gamma exposure level quickly. From a gamma exposure level here, there is nothing much going on here. Let's go into spot gamma exposure. And look, we got stock is about 3 here. At 3.5, there is relatively slightly better gamma exposure, but this will not be a magnet. For this to be a magnet, it has to be above say 0.3 or 0.4 here, then it will become like a magnet. But right now generally it's cruising along higher because folks are buying call option, but there is no strong magnet, so that's why stock will just move along. There is no gamma exposure level that will pull it towards that level here. So with that, we'll conclude here. Thank you very much. Happy investing and trading. Please subscribe.